let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You need to hear with some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
watches on the iPad. I watches on
Testing,
the
testing. 1, 2, 3. Are you guys here? You hearing me now?
No, nothing, not a song.
Okay, hold on.
Now,
I'm back on
now,
now. Okay, good.
now I can hear you. I can
Excellent,
hear you now.
excellent,
Yeah.
excellent, excellent.
All right.
Woof.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you. Okay, are you all with me? Are you hearing me? Oh my God, there's something trying to shut me up today, but nope, you're not going to shut me up today. You're not. Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, ma'am. You back on now.
I love you all. Love you all. They're not going to shut me up today because I'm preparing this space for you to vent. Thank you so much, caller. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. What a start. Well, you know what? We rebuke whatever is going on in the name of Jesus, because today, like I said, it came solemn, and we're not going to do this. We are so happy. I'm so happy for all of you. Thank you so much. But this is another episode of Sabrina Speaks, Voices of the Islands, Conversations for the World, and the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration takes center stage. My humble apologies for whatever was going on right there. I did absolutely nothing. I rebooted everything. But today is Monday the 22nd. And thank you all so much for sticking it out with me. You know, I really, really love and appreciate you. First of all, pardon my look. It has been a rough few hours. It has been a rough weekend, to be honest. And for so many, you know, the sun may be shining. And for others, the air may just be right. But even with all of that is happening around us, a lot of us are carrying a heavy weight today. I'm really not going to do an interview today or even debating. I'm just here to really listen. And this is why whatever was happening just now, we ain't gonna make that stop us. I'm here this evening to honestly give this space to you to express your hurt, to truly and emotionally make a plea, to really be honest with you. Whatever hurt, whatever pain you're going through, a lot is happening in our homeland, in our region, and around the world. And yet we must exist amongst each other. When one hurt, we all hurt. Connie, I have no clue what happened. All I know, they tried to mute us and it ain't gonna happen. But you know what? The content you're about to hear here, including any and all discussions, opinions for myself, guests, participants, is intended for solely general information and entertainment purposes. It is not a substitute for professional, legal, medical, financial advice. And I encourage you to consult with a qualified professional or specific for your specific concerns. Because Sabrina Speaks disclaims all liability for any decisions or actions taken in reliance on the information presented here today. Now, this past weekend, I was doing what I always do. Even though I tried to take a break from the screen time, felt like my eye was going to bulge out of my head. But in reading the headlines, both internationally and regionally, a sense of profound, I would say, sadness came over me. Then I looked at exactly what was happening right here. The news, no matter where you look, appears to be full of frustration and heartbreak. From the global stories that is so devastating, the more lives lost, and when you're looking at the conflicts around the world and you're seeing just headlines popping up, and you may think because it's in Gaza, it won't affect us. From the humanitarian crisis, even in Sudan, to the painful debate over free speech and media censorship. You see what's happened to Jimmy Kimmel, and just before coming live, I realized he'll be back on ABC tomorrow. Is it any different for us here in the Cayman Islands? And I know that many of us with family abroad, when I learned as well about the government in the US cutting pediatric brain cancer research, that one shook to the core, understanding that our very own is struggling, one of our very own, even though he's not a child. But it's not just global headlines that got me today. to be honest with you. I didn't care what subject I brought up today. With the sense that I'm feeling in our community, I've been reached out by a number of persons locally, just pretty much the heartache. We have our own concerns right here at home, ladies and gentlemen. I've been following the ongoing debate around the government's new headlines, or their hardline stance on work permit policies, and the uncertainty it's creating for so many Caymanians and Caymanian businesses alike. Some social media comments show the real sense of anxiety and uncertainty among many residents and business owners. It's a conversation filled with fear. I see it. It speaks to the delicate balance that we have as a society between protecting our own and welcoming those who contributes to our success. I also see the ongoing debate lighting up on social media feeds about government's proposal of the undersea cable project. The posts and comments, to really be honest with you, reveal a lot of public frustration about the lack of transparency from our government. This isn't just a technical story. This is a story about trust, about whether we as a community feel that our government is being opened and accountable. We're also watching the recent developments in the Cayman Islands National Attractions Authority and the allegations against some of its senior leaders there. Some may say, well, where are you going with this, Sabrina? But then it hits to our core when you see the sudden passing of another fire officer, Little Joe, as he was so fondly known to so many. The passing of Little Joe. The passing of my dear friend, Philip Turner of Spott Bay. That has shook the core of Spott Bay. I don't know if many of you remembered on Friday, just before the closing, I said I had to promote this event that was taking place on Saturday, a food sale, and I put it up after the show, but I spoke about it at the end of Friday's show. It was for this fine gentleman here. I'll go more into that. Even the MVA motor vehicle accident that resulted in the death of a young man from Honduras who was over in the Brac as well. It is alleged that he was working on the construction site over there. To the very vibrations of our home, from a helicopter that hovered over our neighborhoods, multiple police officers on foot, canvassing our neighborhoods in what was an alleged police chase that is now stirring more questions than answers. As we were about to settle ourselves and our kids in for the night to usher in a new work week. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not just news stories and posts. They're conversations and hurt and pain that we're having in our living rooms, by the water coolers, in our lunch rooms, by the delis at the grocery stores. And there's so much pain. There are echoes of the wider community and conversations happening every day. And you think it's only on this base or the CMR TV? These are some of the same questions and concerns and hopes that is being had all around the world. Good evening, caller. You're live.
Good evening. I didn't know that poor Philip had died.
Yeah.
Me and you were talking about him last night because you asking me. I tell her, I say he was a little pastor from Cayman Brac that they used to call Pastor Turner, that he was kind of, I say he was so nice. I didn't know,
yes.
I know him and his wife, I say from time he come, but I didn't know none of his kids.
Yes.
And we were talking and she was saying that she should have go hospital because his sister come.
Mm-hmm.
And I know about poor old Joe, because that I didn't know about that. Neither till somebody called me and I called the fire station because my husband hired Joe. He's I don't know if you know Nathan Bush from Honduras. He's his grandson.
Mm-hmm.
That's who Miss Helen. Helen, Yeah, because I used to hear him saying all the time, I didn't know his son, but he always used to tell us that he had this son in West Bay. And I tell him, I say, I didn't know you had kids up here. I thought you only had in Banaka. But yeah, and then, well, actually, Arlette is my good friend. And I don't think she mind me calling her name. He married to her daughter, and her daughter's very sick.
Yep.
And, oh, my God. And he was such a nice person. I mean, real down to earth, a very good young man.
Yep.
His mom, and then she told me that his mama and her were good friend, and then she sent me the picture. But I tell her I don't know her, Miss Betty. Her name, but I don't know her, but I knew Joe. His name Joseph, but I used to call him Joe. And I feel so bad. And then it's poor children thing, not so hard.
Yep.
But I did not say it. I mean, we were just talking about him, and she was saying, I wonder if she went and get to see him because she said she was she wanted probably go today, but they said that he was kind of low. But then some of his white house had come up. Oh, my God.
He succumbed last night.
Oh, God. And then that's after 1 year that Miss Walda and them, because I asked about the fundraising, how it went. She said that it had canceled because they said that they had given like 2 days or something. I said, oh, my God, here again.
That's Philip. That's the heart of Spott Bay. One of the hearts.
Mr. Turner just as good because he was such a nice little person. He used to say, young lady, how about you? And I could see him and hear him now. But I know he's dead, but his wife's still living, right?
Yes. Okay. This is another picture of Philip and his mom, Miss Turner.
Because, I mean, too much going on now now, but I guess we can't do nothing about it. It's life.
We just have to be here for one another. But thank you, caller.
Yeah. Like I was watching that. Miss Lucille from one of the pastor was saying that everybody need to unite, whether you're family or not. We're all human. We all got to go through the same thing one day or the other. So that's why we should try to live good amongst each other.
Yes, ma'am.
Some people, I don't know. Some people can't change. Not even that would change them. So I don't know. But then you keep hearing me saying that people are people and what you can do. But I'm so sorry to hear about poor old Turner. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think he was dying when we were talking about him, but oh my God, we were just talking about him late last night. I was talking with your aunt about him. And then that might be why she not call me today, because we talk 2-3 times a day.
You will probably hear from her a little later.
Yeah, it's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Jalma.
Okay, bye.
Okay. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, you see why it's so important. That's why this space is here. Because we're not alone in our anxieties. By sharing our stories, we're not just venting, we are bearing witness to our collective experience. This young man is another one lost from the fire department, another young hero. Sometimes it may feel you're just expected to keep a stiff upper lip and carry on. But what if we don't? What if we just need a moment to pause, to exhale, to vent, to be able to voice our hurt, to voice our sadness or our concerns? And that is what this episode is for today. This is our open mic. It's a space to breathe together. I'm not going to pretend to have the answers. I'm not even going to try to put a neat bow around anything. It's the painful realities of the world. Instead, I want to create this space for us to be human together. There's a lot going on out there. So let's start here. The phone lines are open. 345-936-8255. The chat is open, and I want to hear from you. Miss Bridget, so sad to hear this news. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of the community of Spott Bay and the Brac on a whole. Yes, Philip. You know, at the end of the day, I needed to do this for so many people because I hear you. It didn't matter, in my opinion, what topic I brought here today, whether it was regional headlines, international, what may have hit you the hardest this weekend. Really and truly, then you ask the question, what keeps you up at night? What are you feeling that you can't shake? Maybe is it, how can I keep the lights on? Are you thinking too far ahead? Am I going to be able to make the next mortgage payment? What's in store for my child or children or grandchildren? What's some of the real things that are bothering you today? That are really, really at your core? I have to do this because I think sometimes death becomes like a revolving door. Yes, we shouldn't be scared of it. But let me start just in case you're still not sure of this space and being able to really voice your concerns, to share your hurt, to share your stories. Because just like how certain media in the United States is being silenced, many of you are feeling that same shackled, being muzzled for fear of retribution. But the lack of compassion and empathy in the loss of a life. And yes, how life continues, but the consideration of co-workers, the impact of the sudden death of a brother, a friend, a co-worker. Where is that core when it comes to even being able to comprehend another tragic loss in the Cayman Islands Fire Service? So many of those young men and women are just still trying to get over Whitelock's death. And our frontline staff is yet riddled with pain of the sudden passing. Some may say, where did she come with the lack of compassion? Where's that coming from? I know. Some of you wonder your very own worth. What does it mean to show up to work? And God forbid, what will be the memory of your contribution be like after you're gone? Or if before you even transport to the morgue, whether or not there are discussions of who's going to take your place. It's real. Life may continue. It has to continue. But at some point, you have to realize that our frontline workers are affected. They hurt. They feel pain. And oh my God, is this what we're coming to? That all you can think of is who gonna fill his space? Really? Where is your moral compass? It's no wonder we're having so much mental breakdown in our society today. It doesn't matter If you're put on a uniform, you're out there in the front lines. Oh my God, you're human first. They break. They hurt. They have feelings. We are not robots. They are not robots. And no matter what role you are in, no matter what power you may think you have, or how much money you may have access to, at the end of the day, you are a human. Death is for everyone. To all of my people, all of the brave men and women, especially the Cayman Islands Fire Service, I hope you get the help and you get the counseling that you need to take you through this. Because I know for many, it was a slap in your face. But you matter. To his family, to his children, our heart, our prayers go out to you. And for anyone who's struggling, I don't know the family of the person that lost their life in the motor vehicle accident. That's somebody's child. That's somebody's cousin. That's somebody's brother, uncle, partner. But there's no different. The people that he works for also hurt. We have to become a society where it's safe to speak. It's okay. It's okay to hurt. We don't need to read another headline because you just didn't know where to go, or scared to confiding someone because of what people may assume or how you think you may be perceived. And unfortunately, that's some of the disadvantage of living in a small island state where everybody knows everybody. And many a times, you stay in your shadows, you hurt, you ache. There's a lot of grief. There's a lot of uncertainty. But I want you all, especially in the Cayman Islands Fire Service today, with how fresh this sudden passing of little Joe is. We thank you for your service. And even though you leave your personal issues at home and you show up for work and you serve with dignity, you run to danger when others run away. The brother and sisterhood of the uniform service is like no other industry. And only those who knows it when they say, I got your 6, really knows what that means. So for the leaders who lack empathy, who lack compassion, you may be the top of your food chain right now, but you're no good without the man below you. And this has hurt your men and women of the fire service. You may want to start by apologizing. you may start as well by ensuring that everybody's mentally, emotionally checked, and give them the help and the resources that they so need, because there's only so much blows they can take, and they still have to show up for work. You see, I get it. I understand it. But I haven't made life made me so cold that I forget to be human. And persons in leadership roles need to be even more cognizant of that, because PTSD is real. And we in the Cayman Islands, as a small knit community, we can see how this can shock, how it can shake our very core. You don't have to be in somebody's house. You don't have to attend their barbecue or their family gatherings to have a good relationship or to even know somebody like this. It's okay, fire officers. You have a voice. You have a voice. You have a space. And we appreciate you. We share this pain with you. And this hits hard. This has nothing to do with me being the former minister. I knew Little Joe long before this. I went to West Bay Primary School. I got friends in West Bay. My family knows his family. But this hurts no different than with Philip, with the person that they found in Bawden Town, and the person that lost their life in an MVA. It's the same thing. It hits no different when you're uncertain as to the trajectory of where our country is going. It hits no different. Miss Bridget from Cayman Brac, so saddened to hear of this news. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the families and friends of Spott Bay, Cayman Brac, and the whole heartfelt condolences to all. Miss Rose, I'm here, Sabrina. So good to have you here. Jim, thank you for being with us. There is so much chaos and so much of unknowns happening in today's world. Many people don't hear the cries. Some don't want to hear the cries, and some just don't take the time. Time to listen and time to reach out to say to someone, I'm here. You can lean on me. It's not easy. This world we now live in, too much pressure, too many expectations. It's just too much for many, and of all ages are feeling it. Jim, I totally agree with you. It's like we're spiraling out of control. But yet, we just go on without taking a time and think that that will not have an implication on you. Grieving has no script. There is no script for grieving. And it's okay to cry. It's just total fine to just grieve. But then it takes a different tone. It takes a different tone when you have people going on like they're indispensable. And that, so what? Next. Without just considering their surroundings, their subordinates. This is hard. And we got to coexist here together. This Mr. Turner is not a family to me. My family just raised up with the Turners and the Brac. He's not a family relative. No, he's just a very close family friend. This is by no means any blood connection. It is just the impact that Philip has left on Spott Bay, just like little Joe, to the fire service, just like Whitelock. These are significant persons who've given selfless. They've given so much of themselves, yet carrying their own personal weight. Miss Valda, I know this one hit you hard. Sharon Ebanks, you may see her there. This hit her hard too. The entire Spott Bay community mourns this evening. Anyone who goes up around the corner in Spott Bay and see one house not too far from what you call Cornwall Turn, like the end of the road where the Bracknell starts, there's a beautiful house that's set back on the seaside. It's a blue and white. It's blue and white. Go ahead, Chelma.
I said, I agree with what you say. Mr. Turner, not a family to me neither. He was a American guy, but he was nice. He had I didn't live in the Brac. I tell you, I went to the Brac one time, and that was to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
But he come down here, and I met him, and he used to come and hug you up and talk to you. So, I mean, come on, we're human. And like I said, that's for everybody. It could be me tomorrow. It could be me tonight. It could be you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows this, but I tell you, some people do have no humanity about them because they're not family to them or whatever. I feel so. The guy, somebody just called me and say the guy that got killed in the Brac, he's a Spanish guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Spaniard. I'm from Honduras. I'm from the island. But I feel sorry for whoever he is because I'm sure he got brothers. And like I say, everybody, loved one is special to one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why people like that, God help us, feel sorry for everybody because I put it in the only one out of my siblings that there so far is my brother Eldon. But I know how I felt. I don't expect people to feel the way that I feel because, I mean, he was my brother. But then still, this guy, Joe, he wasn't nothing to us. My husband will hire him at the fire department. And like I told the fireman, I said, I saw it and I asked I've mentioned the same thing about because I sick on the losing on a young man looking for a weight loss. I can't believe yet. And he said, Michelle, man, he said, I don't know you because he know, this is the thing, he know my voice over the show. He know my brother-in-law. He said, he know Sean. And I said, well, Sean is my brother-in-law. That's Billy Reed's brother. I said, but he said, Mom, because these are the younger ones that left since my husband leave that, but all of them older ones. And Joe was one that he hired because he was who even tell me who Joe's grandfather was. And he know them. So this is what I tell you. And then I tell him, I say, I feel it for all of you guys. I said, he tell me, I said, call and give him, the sympathy from us and whatever. But this is what I'm telling you. People, and then this boy, Uncle, I understand, I know David, I don't think he got, for 10 years, him and Bill Reed's good friend, every time he can call, he brings Bill Reed the heart, he been up and about us, right down the road, and he's this guy, Uncle. So that's what I tell you, we know, they're not family, and then his mother-in-law, I eat food from her nail every day, only last week, she never cooked because she was sick, and then now that this happened to her daughter, and me and her were not long talking, when your show come on. So I know the people and we're like family, come on. I mean, like I say, I feel sorry for anybody. I see them killing rabbit down the road yesterday. And I say, oh my God, look at how the people, they could avoid killing that poor rabbit. I don't want them to see the kill a cat, the dog, the rabbit, nothing.
But do you think do you think there's any respect, understanding how quickly or how sudden this young man passed?
This is it. And the guy worked his 24-hour shift. My friend, she said she was calling me from Westbrook. His next door neighbor. She said she saw him when he come in that morning from work. And when she heard that, she couldn't believe it. She said they hit her fence and the fire truck had to come and he was one of the men. And she was telling me, she said, good. And I said, I know, because my husband said he was a beautiful. And I was telling him who have good sons, because mine could be better than what he is, but God forbid. But who have good, especially boys, because boys are mostly, well, I guess I would say it depends on the family too, but most boys are knuckleheads, I call them. To me, they're harder to manage than a girl. But whoever has, and like I say, whoever has, and I understand that this, because he's the mother only child, but this was saying that she, and because everybody say he was a good father, a good husband, and a good son. So that, not all the time they can say that.
Mm-hmm.
I come on, and then, like I said, the guy is young. Work his 24-hour shift, went home, and just dead, stuff like that. Because the guy told me, he said, miss, he said, the whole station, he said, a Purasa, can you imagine?
But do you think it is fair then for seniors to even be thinking and having discussions about who's going to be placed in his position at such a sensitive time? That is exactly.
And I wouldn't even think that goes to show that that's a bad thinking person. I don't care who it is, because I wouldn't even think about that position right now. It don't matter. Yes, we're all replaceable. Anybody can take a position, because like I said, in the world, you're not irreplaceable. But I wouldn't even think about that in this time.
The same day.
And some people are animals. Some people are animals. They got animal heart. They only look like a human, but they must be got animal heart inside. But even the animals try to protect each other, because sometimes you see two roosts out, they're fighting, and the next one come in, he can try whatever. I don't know. Like I tell you, it hurts me to see that people so
cold.
I don't know. I would say no good or whatever. I don't know. I feel sorry for everybody. But like I say, everybody loved ones is important to them. Mm-hmm. Everybody loved ones is important to them.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. I mean, everyone gets somebody's child.
That's right. And like Pastor James said, this is for everyone. I hope that. And I asked the Pastor Naya the other day, because remember I used to keep saying that, I wonder, because nobody knows when the judgment day, nobody knows when God's coming. We know He coming, but we do know that. And I used to be wondering, there's anybody gonna be alive when He comes? I was thinking, like all of us will be dead. Mm-hmm. And Pastor Naya tell me, yes, there will be people alive, but then them that were dead gonna come alive too. They're not gonna be dead. So this is what I'm saying. We all gotta die one day. And them that live longer, well, I would say God bless them, they're lucky. Mm-hmm. Because so much people that, and then like I said, that is for everybody. Mm-hmm. Young die, old die. So why people so no good?
Mm-hmm. Yep. But
and like I said, Philip wasn't nothing to me. I never know Philip. I knew his father and I knew his mother. But just seeing him and hearing about him, and I knew his father, I believe, I'm not judging nobody because it's God that judge. But if I think that it was a Christian, his father was a true Christian, Mr. Turner, every time he see you, and he was hugging me, because I was talking with you, and I was saying, I can't remember right now, but he had like a little funny voice, and I used to kind of like mock him, and he said, but you were still my friend, and he grabbed me and hugged me, and I think he was a nice man, and like I said, I don't even know what part of the state he's from. I know he was American and come preaching and whatever and stuff, and he just in the Cayman Brac community and everybody love him so well. So he's somebody love him, yes. And I don't know about position, Jesus, is that a last
Can you imagine? Before the bodies even transferred to the funeral home, they were talking about.
That's all I heard, because yes, somebody can fill the position, but I wouldn't even worry about that. And right now they're out there playing new firemen recruiting, planted. I know somebody now that doing training and stuff. So, but I wouldn't even mention nothing like that, because
no, that is just a poor taste. But I'm really hoping. I'm really hoping that the
humanity about them. I don't care who it is.
I'm hoping.
It could be my uncle. It could be my brother. It could be my sister. It could be my mother.
I'm really hoping that the staff were given the counseling that they need.
You're definitely wrong for even thinking that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wrong. I don't care what people say about me. That I tell you, I'm right, and if you're right, you're gonna get right in my books, and if you're wrong, you're gonna get wrong. I don't care who like. And that's how I go, and that's how I done change. If I wrong, and you tell me, Michelle, what you did was wrong, I'll take your what you call it, and I'll say, yes, I was wrong, and this is what I tell you. Two things I don't do, and that's forget and forgive. It's hard to forgive. But if I know when you have something and I know that it was my fault and things, I will humble down and beg you pardon. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I know I was wrong. Because I know I'm not perfect.
Right.
I'm far from being perfect. So I don't know about
Thank you.
people.
Let's hope.
Everyone. I don't care who it is. All of them that happen in no nation countries, I call it Afghanistan, wherever it is that they're warring. I feel sorry for them because I don't know them, but there's somebody, children, somebody, brother, somebody, mother, somebody, cousin, somebody, child.
Yeah. Thank you, my dear. Leave us there. Plain and straight says it well. Michelma, don't insult animals. Most of them themselves mourn longer than 24 hours. You're quite right. And Michelma, they were actually agreeing with you. She was saying that even animals mourn, and that was pretty much in alignment with what you're saying. And Plain and Straight also said, yes, sickness and death are for us all. But it was a bit inhumane, insensitive for that conversation to even have ensued so fresh after this young man's passing. And as I said at the beginning, this episode of Sabrina Speaks, it's me, you, and the mic because of everything that's happening around us. It didn't matter what topic I brought here today. I had to create a space for persons to be able to vent, to share their hurt, because too much of us are suffering in silence. And we cannot say we are a community where we are brothers and sisters keepers if you don't even feel as though it's okay for you to share it here, because I can assure you, a lot of people are hurting today. They may be hurting about little Joe. The families across the way may be hurting about that Spanish national that are working on our job sites, or they may be hurting because of the fear of the unknown. The fear of unknown, because it's also another topic that is causing some serious concern, even with Caymanian-owned businesses, is the debate around the new permit policies that have so many people, and both business owners and employees, including some Caymanians as well who are employees, expressing genuine fear and the uncertainty of the future here in the Cayman Islands. Now, we all know as Caymanians that our islands have been built. Our islands have been built on a foundation of an overwhelming people and strong economy. Oh, yes. But how much of us feel that we have missed that grave a dream? And we see policies that seems to shake that very foundation. And that is possible and could be very unsettling. To be honest with you, there's a deep sense of concern in our community for the people who have contributed so much and now have felt so vulnerable. And this is not people but on no work permits. This is even businesses that are being shook at their core. Political power plays without true vision, exploration of implications if this goes wrong, and just what appears to be shooting from the hip will be the death of our country if that's the trajectory that we're taking. Damien Henry. These bigwigs have their head so far up their orifice that they fail to see and give the respect to the real heroes on the front line. Disgusting behavior, no sensitivity. Damien, thank God I could have actually reword that very quickly. And I agree with you. It took me to the core. And I know a lot of the brave men and women out there on our front lines will never call in because they're fearful of their work. You think it's only the media that's been muzzled? We ain't no different in the United States when it comes to freedom of speech. When it comes to victimization because of speaking your truth, because of asking and seeking for information? No. Right now, with some of the policies for the great immigration reform, you have businesses that are fretting but scared to speak. Silence is not the answer either. Hi, Margie. Good to see you, my love. You know what I'm talking about. You have your brave men and women. You have your brave young men in the service as well, Miss Margie. So at the end of the day, we're no different. I have stepped out on a limb by choosing, by design, topics that will educate, inspire, thought provoke, and hopefully someone will listen. I am hoping that this space, this entire CMRTV.com platform will elevate talk. But we can no longer remain a society with our heads buried in the sand. We can no longer talk about other jurisdictions. You see what happening over there? Charity begins at home. We ain't no different than anywhere else. Because if you think politics isn't at play here, you got a sad mistake. If you think the party lines ain't drawn in the sand, you got a sad mistake. If you think political victimization ain't alive, well, and thriving, you got a sad mistake. But the longer you remain with your heads buried in the sand and do not help educate and inform, all I can say, woe be unto you. This is not an easy corner to be in because I stand for something. Advocating for those who don't have a voice of their own. Sandra has done that for years. She just got a different style in delivering. I'm coming from an informed position, an educating standpoint, but it will all make sense as time allows the space to continue to flourish and grow. This space will make sense. And this is why I have sobering topics. But today wasn't one of those days for a topic, because I identify the hurt that is amongst us. I identify the fear when your house is literally vibrating and you're seeing all of the lights and you're seeing all the police on the ground in your community and people are fearful, locking their doors as you try to settle into your sleep, not sure if your house will be the one where if it's alleged that someone's on a run, it's going to come into your house, thinking twice to even sit on your back patio because of all the happenings in the neighborhood. You think silence is going to solve that problem? You think remaining quiet is going to solve that problem? It's not. I felt it. I see it. I read it. And I definitely am hearing it. And I am telling you, the day you start believing in one another as people of the Cayman Islands and not just as a tagline, you will see a difference in how we coexist with one another. Until such time, those with the deep pockets will continue to lead the charge. The one who pays the piper plays the song. Plain and straight. Respect for these situations and for people in general is so rare these days. Plain and straight, you're quite right. First time I've seen you hair clean and straight, but I like you. Whoever's behind that, I like you. I like you already. Ian, that's what I'm about. I'm about facts. Hair today is not about personalities. And to be honest with you, I really don't give two shakes of a duck's tail who likes me. That ship has sailed so long ago, it doesn't matter. I know my purpose. I know what I'm trying to do. This is a true testament of giving one hands up, not a handout. This space is a true testament of assisting your brothers and your sisters, educating, informing. But when you have a society that looks at you totally different or cower you down because you speak up for what is right, you can share the grief of losing a brother, someone who is not even from here, but loves Cayman Brac to the core. And because of legislation, was not even able to truly even acquire permanent residence. But that didn't stop their shine. That didn't stop their spark from contributing to everything, and they weren't buying their way. If there was one patriotic person to the Brac, it is the Turner family. If there's one patriotic person in Spott Bay, it would fill it. When it came to giving back, when it came to always showing up for community events, he only had to hear you were having something. He was in the kitchen baking. He was there helping serve. He was there. He called Cayman home. And this is why we got to get this balance right. This Clint Eastwood style of pulling your guns from your pockets because you're being funded by those with deep pockets. I'm sorry, you're going to regret every move you make if that is where you're taking this. And I will not stop educating, inspiring, and empowering people to believe in each other. Good evening, caller. You're live.
Good evening, Miss Sabrina. How are you this evening, my dear?
I'm holding the faith, my brother.
Yes, same here. I want to give my condolences to all three families because this seems to be the norm that we deal with, but death is a part of life, speeding is a part of life, and whatever or however the accident happened or whatever, it is just sad because we are losing more and more people on our roadways. More and more of our people are just dropping down from health issues. And we all have our hands full. That's how I look at Cayman Islands at this time in life.
Right.
We are being pulled from one side to the next. And sometimes when we try to get resolutions to things, they do not come. But I want to put this out to people. We are all human. We all have feelings. We all have family. We all have friends. And when someone is lost, it's not just a family that is mourning. In most instances, there are communities, there are neighborhoods. It is the country. Because we all know, everyone knows everyone in some shape or form in Cayman because this is a small place.
Correct.
So before I go to the topic I want to discuss, I just want to ask, because it is about road safety here for me this evening. I want to please tell the public, you operate vehicles on these roadways. You must learn to abide by every rule there is, and this goes for everyone operating. Cyclists, scooter riders, pedestrians, we all have to ensure that we're all doing our part.
Mm-hmm.
The police can be everywhere, but in most instances, the police are nowhere in Cayman. So that is the topic I want to carry here this evening. I don't know what it will take for the powers to be, from the head of the RCIPS
Mm-hmm.
to the bottom of the simple police constable, to understand that when you take an oath to serve and protect, that is what the public expects of you. And in many instances, we demand you serve us. But you're not just serving the public, you are serving us respect. I have been trying to get...
Hello, caller. Hello. Hold on. Just bear with that caller there. Plain and straight. No, that's a sincere thank you. I'm not being sarcastic by any way. I just like how you're...
Yes, ma'am.
There you go, my love. You're live.
Okay. You're trying to get something done with a certain problem we are having in part of this district, and it is about loud music. You know, when they used to have the sessions that they still have?
Yeah.
Well, you call the police and you make a report. You get told you have to give your name, and you give your name, and they go, they warn, and then it happens again the same night, the next night of the week.
Mm-hmm.
No less than 12 calls have been placed for this issue in the last 4 months, okay?
And this is not a commercial location.
No, this is a private residence blasting music to the point where it is heard from 4 roads down from the property.
Okay. That's against the Noise Ordinance Act.
Yes, and the police will not arrest the individual. I got insulted yesterday evening by a police officer in the West Bay police station, and that's all they seem to do now is insult me. I said, I'm checking. We want to know if all you responded to this call that was put out in the neighborhood of the noise disturbance. The attitude came, what do you think? What do you think? If the police gets a report, they're going to go to it. I had to stop the lady officer and say, excuse me, ma'am, I don't need your attitude here this evening. I got told that in order for something to be done, it was a process. So we have called numerous times, about 12 in the last 4 months, and they're still telling us now we have to file a complaint. Well, the complaint was filed a week ago. They went there that Friday night. They went there that Saturday night. The music continues. When you have persons in the neighborhood saying that their windows and their doors are vibrating, and the police absolutely want to do nothing, I had to tell the police officer yesterday, you know, you all are only good for one thing. And I told the officer that you all dress up in a uniform, and that uniform goes to your head because you don't want to deal with the issue. And the issue that we are having is that we don't want to hear the loud music. This is not a session. And the vulgar music, it is a boom boom this and let me rephrase it, because the new words are furry burger and furry sausage. Words that coming out from this music apparatus. And then there is a young child in the yard that lives there. And then the person is also smoking weed and carrying on as they do.
Well, there sounds to
And
be
the
a
police,
number of breaches.
the police does nothing. They have done nothing, Miss Sabrina. So you can't get to your MPs because apparently they're all 4 of them are just too busy. And some don't have an office. You don't know how to reach them. We have been told to go to your MP for them to go to the commissioner on the neighborhood behalf. Have you ever heard of any hogwash in your life?
Never.
Where I said to the police, you are the police.
But you went directly to the source.
You are supposed to solve this problem. Oh, it is a process. How many more processes do we have to go through in this neighborhood? How many more processes? I asked the police officer yesterday, you are the ones we're supposed to come to. So you're telling me, you want to hear what the solution was? We are requesting a list from the amount of times for a certain number that called to the police stations, Georgetown and West Bay in the last. I told them we wanted a 5-month printout. You know what I was told to do? Let me hold on. Let me talk to my supervisor. So you know what you got told yesterday? You need to go to do a FOI.
Freedom of Information request.
I said, you people are the police. This shouldn't have to go to a FOI. So you're telling me that nothing can be done in the law? I said, this is the problem I have with the police, and this is the problem the general public is having with the police service. Because I have lost every bit of respect for the RCIPS, and I have said that to the commissioner when Sandra had him on. There is no way in high moon that you should allow music to be blasted like you're in a session and a concert and nothing gets done about it.
But this is where the community beat officers.
Miss Sabrina, there is no police presence of community officers down in here in Birch Tree Hill, part of it.
But it is alleged that has temporarily been stopped. I don't know how true that is because I've seen that in other chats.
There have never been one down that came around or to check people or ask people, and I keep saying to them, and when others call, what is it going to take for all you to listen to the neighborhood when we call to make complaints? Because people can call till they're sick, but if the police are insulting people that call, and the police don't care, the police are more interested, and I told them like it was yesterday, I said, you all are more interested putting on that uniform, dressing up, looking pretty, and you think that you got all the power in your hands, and the general public are just calling to complain. I said, when someone calls, it is for a genuine reason, and the police must take the public serious. This is the reason why when the police goes out to ask for information,
they don't.
None of the public, Miss Sabrina, wants to come forward because first your name got be gone out, your number got be gone, where you live got be gone, the amount of times you called. What is it going to take to get the police to act? So I hope Mr. Walton is listening because I'm going to call some names of his officers here today. Oh yeah, there is a Clark, there is a Blake, there is a Mike Tigert, and there was even a Cayman Brac young officer that answered the phone and promised me they were going to deal with it because the neighborhood has had enough. We've had enough calls of it going out and nothing has gotten done. The minister responsible, I told, was Mr. Rolston Anglin.
No, that's your MP.
We have called one of the other offices. We called Miss Kathy's office, Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes, West Bay Central, and we were told Mr. Rolston Anglin is the MP for that area where this house sits. So I hope this is going to get out to his ears because somebody needs to go to set this gentleman straight at this property. With all of this noise, the police needs to go, they need to confiscate the noise box, and they need to arrest the occupant of the yard.
But that aside, whether or not you have community beat officers, the mere fact that there's been repetition of reports, repeat offense,
Yes, ma'am.
breaking of the law. And as you
Yes,
rightfully
ma'am.
said, based on what you're saying, it
Nothing
sounds
done.
as though there are a number of breaches to law that's happening. And the community itself doesn't feel that anything is being done. That in itself is a problem. And I agree with you. We're hearing that more and more every time, that this is why they're not getting the community to actually share information, because of how persons going there, like you have repeated, needing help. People are in breach of the noise art. Exactly. And getting none.
And you know, Mr. Walton can holler all he wants about he needs more officers and he needs speed cameras. You know, months ago, I almost got knocked down. And up till now, Officer Pena that took the report, Miss Sabrina, has not come back to me and told me if they have reviewed the CCTV footage. Because I said I wanted charges against the officer. Now, how many license plates can you find with a two-door black Mercedes Coupe convertible with a specialized name on the license plate? All now, Officer Pena has not come back to me. And just almost 3 weeks gone, Miss Sabrina, I am afraid to go on the road.
But even if it's an update,
Miss Sabrina, nothing. I was 5 seconds away almost 3 weeks ago from walking in to where I live. And the Domino's pizza driver with their lights on bright coming towards me, and I got a flashlight that you can see the stars and the moon when you shine it. It's so bright. So if I hadn't jumped off the side of the road, I would have been knocked down. I called West Bay Police Station. It was the first time that any officer has told me they were going to do something. But this is twice now I've gotten almost killed on the roadways. They went and they warned the Domino's pizza drivers. And I will tell you, it worked. They slow down. They're not speeding no more.
Okay.
But why can't we get a solution to this noise or the craziness in our district? I am going to send you the house number.
Okay.
And I want to see if you can get some movement on it for me.
Well, I will
with
pass
the
it on.
MP, because I am willing to walk with the MP.
And you
to
said
point
that
out the house.
this
to him.
MP
They
is.
said I was told from Miss Catherine Ebanks Wilkes' office, the house sits in Mr. Rolston Anglin's constituency.
Okay, well,
and I know the government is busy.
Okay, what we can do, caller, is as soon as we finish, because I have somebody else on hold. Once we're finished, you can WhatsApp me, or I'll call you back. Yes, the street name and the house number, and I will make sure that is passed on to the representative.
Please, because the neighborhood has had enough of it.
Yes,
and you know, if we need to go as far as we need to go, the person is a foreigner. I don't know whether they have residency or Caymanian status, but all these things can flow down from what the police hasn't done.
Once they're in breach of the law, it doesn't matter what nationality, what you have described.
We know,
okay.
But that is another problem. If it's a certain nationality of police with the certain nationality that this is, they don't want to do anything.
Loud and clear.
You know, we can also call DCF on this person because of this vulgar music and weed being smoked with a young child in the yard.
Understood.
So if they want that route, we will go that route. Okay. I will text you it and continue to listen.
Thank you.
We need the police to listen to the public. You can get 150 more police officers. But if the police are not listening to the general public when they have concerns,
it makes
and
no
genuine concerns where it affects people's lives, because people in this neighborhood have to live, have to work, and nobody wants to hear it. There are numerous roads that connect from that road.
Right.
It is too much, Miss Sabrina. Please, we are begging you for help. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. There you have it. Here we are appealing, and people are just begging for more attention and for our powers that be to do their job. But let me return this call right here. Again, your voice matters. Once I get the information, I'm willing to act on it, and I'll definitely pass it on. And let's hope that our powers that be will understand what's at play here. Good evening, caller. I'm returning your call. You're live on Sabrina Speaks. Welcome back. Oops, there we go. We'll call back, caller. Call back. Yes, Nisha Ebanks. No, good evening to you, my dear. Beep boop. Thank you so much. But yes, it has been these are things that we rightfully say you want a community to be together, you want us to participate. And at the end of the day, this is what's happening in our very own country. And this divide of who is who and nationality shouldn't play out when you have a role to play in the way you execute your duties. And this is something that could actually be eroding the very fabric of who we are, the trust in which people place in our police officers in the execution of their duties. And again, if it is normal, let's say, from where they are originally from, meaning the police officers that are responding to these calls, if this is a norm from where they're coming from, maybe it's okay for them, but it's not a norm for where we are. And there's a reason that we have different laws and legislation in place. And we have spoken about that numerous times on this platform, that it's not that this jurisdiction isn't short of laws. We lack enforcement. And when persons actually go to make complaints and they're not acted on, or as the caller alluded to, they're made to feel less. They're made to feel as though they are a bother. They're made to feel as though you again. That's not a good way of building bridges and connecting to your community, making people feel as though they're safe, making them know that you have them and you're there to uphold the law. And this is the type of fear that I am feeling that is seeping in to our community, where persons then feel one of two things, maybe a number more. It makes no sense to speak because then you're labeling yourself. You're not protected when you share information. You become a target. And what will be done? Sometimes your very own neighborhood is then turned against you because you are advocating. You have found your voice. You are speaking up. You are going to the various government agencies to make a report. But if they're saying now that you need to go to your MPs, and what is alleged is that their MPs cannot be contacted, located, or found, and I will make a public appeal. I am getting a number of persons who are saying that not all MPs, they know where their offices are in their various constituencies. So as someone who was in that role, it is imperative that that information is shared with your voters where your offices are located. And with the power of social media, the power of Facebook, all it takes is just a simple post. I'm on ABC, whatever road, whatever John Brown Lane, whatever. Office, constituency office hours are this time to that time. Because I am getting a number of those that are being stated to me throughout that they're not sure whether or not their representative has an office. It is alleged that some don't have an office. So it's a number of concerns that has been shared here as well. But this is my public appeal to you that if you are a serving MP and you have an office, please make sure your constituents know exactly where you are located. Good evening, Ms. Shelma. Welcome back.
One other thing I want to say, and
Yes,
I don't care if they get insulted about it, but do the MPs care about you after you elect them now. They don't want no people if they don't have an office. That's a good excuse, but then they have offices and you still go to them about stuff and they still don't act. So that's beyond the point, because after I find what I see now after they get elected, and I'm saying all, but some, because I can speak of who I'm speaking, but they don't even remember, you know, because we done the work that they needed us to do. So the hell with us now, excuse my saying, they don't care. They're not worrying about you. And I prove that. But I say this, and I mean this, that the ones that I had to vote for, I hope they don't have to ever run again and expect to be elected by Shalmadine Bush de Martinez. Because I know one thing, this nigga, I get 4 stroke, 12 ankle, 12 foot out there holding up signs, but it won't be this nigga this time. And another thing, people that I can how you would call it, discourage to vote for them. If I can do it, it's gonna be done. Oh yes, because I am well hurt. And worse what after they told me the other day. No, sir, and I get that from the horse's mouth, but they don't care about you. And I can say it because I prove it.
Okay, that's it. Well, Michelle?
Go
ahead.
I don't know if you heard this, to be corrected, but if it is so, and well, I know the little person in Boston that they found dead, deceased, but I understand that he's our good friend, Aunt Sukin, Miss Daphne Orett, grandson, and I send my condolences to her, because I understand that he's safe, that works for our house, that's her nephew, and that he is for one Miss Daphne, because I know she had 2 sons and 1 deceased, but I understand that he's for the one that still living. I don't know the little young man, I see him, but that's what somebody tell me today, that that's who he is, that he's Miss Daphne Orett, grandson. So I send my condolences to her too, because like I say, I don't care what they say he was in or whatever, but he is somebody's child. He's her grandchild, and I know they must love him. So that's all I gotta say.
Thank you very much.
The MPs don't want to do nothing. Well, if you can help you now, because they don't need our vote, and they don't get them, that's it. And to hell with you, you could die. They don't even call you, they don't check on you, they don't close his ears to them. And then I got sick husband, I had birthday, then let me hush, because I don't want to put everything out, but they're full of shit.
936-8255. This space was created for you this evening to share your hurt, your frustration, what keeps you up at night. Let's go to some of the comments that we have on the screen. Plain and straight, agreed. The trust in the police has been eroded because they usually turn up and tell you that there is nothing that they can do, and that is another department's responsibility. Benji, I don't know what I said that, but there's a delayed kaboom. Lean and Straight further says, and more importantly, that you will be identified as the person or people who have lodged the complaint. Plain and straight, that's true, you know. That's true. And that's one of the main things. You never, ever divulge your source, which is why so much people come to the CMR platform. This is why so much people call as well and share information with Sandra. And now I'm seeing with myself. So at the end of the day, it's sad that you have to go to the airwaves when many of you actually go into these government departments. But the only time you see motion is when it's aired here on a public platform. But I'm thanking you all for believing in this space. And as we learn to get the strength to speak up and speak out, to know that we are all together and we're stronger in our numbers, not only on election day when your vote matters. That needs to be even on topics like this. Good evening, caller. You're live on Sabrina Speaks. Oh, hi. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Miss Speak. How are you?
I'm fine. It's been a while.
It sure has been. But, you know, the government office, the MPs, you know, it's real hurtful that our people, a lot of time it's not represented. And they seem to care so much before they go in. And once they're in, it's like they forget. But one thing I know, if you don't care about people, that's not what you need to be in. You shouldn't be into politics. You got to like people. You're going to get the ups, you're going to get the downs. You need to have somewhere where people can converse with you. People sometimes have things that is pressing matters, and even if you're not there, and like you had to us in office, and you're not there. But even when you was in Parliament or cabinet, we text you, and if it's something that you need to give an input. But then people come, you can lock the door, you can have the privacy. Nobody wants sometimes you come into their house or meeting on the road or whatever. They want to come sometime and offload. And we need to have compassion for people. People change governments because they're really looking for the help. They're looking for someone that understand the people needs, right? And not just go in there with the right words to say to get elected and you don't mean it, because it's only a matter of time before people see exactly who you are, what you are. You could only pretend for so long and not forever. And, you did a wonderful job. I work with you and I thank God every day. And this is why I guess you were out there doing this, because you know what it means for people to come and cry. The pain of others. You know what they're going through. You heard it for yourself. And we also had people from all the different communities, districts coming in there saying that the MP was in business with them, and you still help them. And this is something that we need in that little island. It doesn't matter if they're not from West Bay. And if it's something that you could help them with, help them, and we really needs this. And as the times get harder, things, getting critical with people, they really need sometimes a listening ear. Even if sometimes people can't help you and they just listen to you.
An outlet.
And you can converse. Yes. And you and them can have conversation, can converse. It helps. Sometimes you could be honest, like there were times you couldn't do or help. And you said, I can't, but I know the resources is so and so and so. Go through and let me know if what I give you. Because sometimes they don't even know where to start. People doesn't always know where to start. So even giving them a start, tell them where to go, how to get a form, all of these things, you'll be surprised. And then so much has gone on everything on the internet for you to do. All the people were suffering. That's why they came into the office, and we had to do stuff for them. Some of those that have to do everything is online. So that's why an office is essential, for each district, each whichever MP
Constituency.
is in. I think constituents, yeah. And see, I think that everybody needs to have somewhere that the people can dialogue. And the next thing with the government, besides the MP, everybody like their home, they act like when you go, you're at their house and you're interfering with them, and they just don't want to be bothered. And I mean, that's how they treat you a lot of time. Some of them just decide they make a rule. And when they make a rule, that's their rule. And then what happens in there? The people that work with them, they say, girl, that her. Not me, I'm not going to do with it. I know that now. So even to them is on the siege with the boss, knowing that it's not right. And these is the things we need to lodge complaint, because you can't run an office like it's your house. It's government, and government rules need to be carried out. And they need to be fair for each and every one. We need to stop bothering people because they come from this way or that way. And if you see them coming, don't hide from them. You didn't hide, when you need them, as in voting time, and also for those behind the desk. Don't think you're better, honey, than nobody, because you wanted that position, you got that position, and you know what the position entitles and how you have to deal with people. We need to start treating people well. Because the problem you have is sometimes these things cause mental issues. People get so overburdened, so stressed. They just give up. They feel like, okay, I got it at work, I got it at home, then I go to the government, I got it there. Who am I supposed to turn to? Well, for me, I turn to God. Everybody, they want somebody they can physically talk to. And we need to do something. And I'm glad that you're open mic, that people can come on. The problem is they have them all scared. The ones that really need to come on, like the government employees,
They're not
a
gonna
lot
come
of
on
them.
here.
No,
They're not. I doubt if they'll come on here. One second. There's a comment from Shaka Zulu, my friend. But Auntie Sabrina, were you not aware of the issue with reporting to the police and their outing folks when it comes to logging a complaint when you were in office? I was unaware of that, Shaka Zulu. Is this new to you? It's new to me. Just curious, Shak. The thing is, that is heavily operational. And until people actually come to the constituency office, like Ms. Joyce Ann is alluding to, Shak, a lot of the times the operational arm of government, we are unaware of as sitting cabinet ministers. This is why it's important to have a functioning constituency office, because a lot of stuff that is being aired right here now that I'm the host of this podcast, Shaka Zulu, you're not aware of. This is why it's important for you to have a functioning office. And then with your colleagues, your chief officers, especially if, let's say, the police was not under me. I was Home Affairs. I was responsible for 911, the prison, the regiment, the cadets, that sort of stuff. Police was not under me. That was under the premier. Those things are operational. And this is why, Shak, I'm going to have to do maybe 2 episodes on the operations of how it works. But no, many of the complaints that people came to the constituency office and highlighted to me as an MP were never, you're not aware of, because it is the operational arm of government that is impacted, to be honest. Go ahead, caller. I just had to say that because you were in the office, and a lot of the times you heard the complaints that had nothing to do with the MP.
No, none at all. And the next thing, what they blame sometimes the MP for, the MP is not even responsible for. And then sometimes those that work in the government office, they don't even know. They do not even know.
Well, I can tell you from a department level, many a times, the chief officer don't even know what's happening in some departments.
No, they don't. They don't. And so when I will sometimes tell, because you were very informative to us in the office, when I will tell them something, they'll come and say, but that they say that's not how it is. But then when you go and I call the right person, that's how it is. So how can the people get help if those that's working, not even educated in the department they're in, don't have the resources to help people? This is a lot of problem. We have a lot of issues, and they have to have proper training. I mean, the problem, they got rid of a lot of the older staff that had the knowledge, because they don't want to pay them what they're paying them, so they get younger people. They push them, and then to give them less money, and then the younger people never got taught. And you can't blame them sometimes, because they're doing the best they could do.
But this is outright failure of acting in your job. At the end of the day, that's where the Section 55 Shaka Zulu comes in. And I was wrongfully accused of actually political interference when I questioned certain things in the ministry. That word political interference was used out of context, only because I was asking for deadlines to be actually given or asking for updates. I got accused of political interference. So Shaka Zulu, a lot of education is needed. But in all honesty, a lot of the things that is being described and is being aired here is operational. This is not pointing the finger. And I know that there are persons who may hear these episodes and hear me as a former elected member of parliament say, that's foolishness. You do what you want to do. No, I don't know what era they may have worked in government in, but what's happening when I was there, and I can only speak of what was happening when I was there, you know your place and you stay in your lane. You advocate for your people on the constituency level, but you still have to honestly follow the guidelines. And it's very easy to be accused of being in breach of Section 55.
Yes. And you know, like I have an issue that I'm dealing with right now where there's a department that makes their rules, and I have to ask them, I say, so does the government have two governments? Because the rest of the government, let me just brief. Let's say you have a check issue with the government, and you had a return check, and the department that you going to, they said no, they can't take it. But then you call government, you had it issued 10 years ago. The government said, but we have nothing for you, you're good to go. But yet that other department, somebody gets up and decides, well, guess what? We're not taking it. Yet you're trying to find out, who do you go to? The person that's in charge of that department, they send you back to the same person that you have an issue with. How do you get help? Where do you get help? Who do you turn to? When everybody looks like they're afraid of the person that they are under them, right? They are the boss. But this person, the director, whatever they are, the director can't make the call. So they send it back to the financial controller, and it seems like it's them that's running the company. They're running the department. And, you know, do you have two governments or do we have one? Is it the laws that govern the whole government, or do different departments make different laws?
Oh, well, each department, I'm quite sure, with policies, and this is an ongoing case with you, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm hoping that you don't actually fall on anything, in any breach of what the investigation is actually doing right now. But with what you've described to me, there should only be, with a check, one government issued not receiving checks from an entity. There should be only one list. I stand to be corrected. I don't know what the latest policy changes are.
Well,
because
you know, to me,
is it based on department by department is what it has changed to now? I don't know. But to the best of my knowledge, having worked there, it's only usually one list.
Well, I've asked for that, you know, actually asked for that in writing, and every time it's a different story. And then besides that, they can't tell me when the event, because every time you hear it's a different date. So sometimes what happened in this little island that we call home, people get into you, that's Joyce-Ann or that's Sabrina.
It's become personal instead of professional.
Yes.
Different rules for different people.
Exactly. And it's not supposed to be that way. You know, I once asked one of the leaders in government many years ago, I said, if you won't hire those that have went to prison, why do you expect the private sector to hire them? How can you pressure the private sector to hire them? So what are you doing? You're the government and you're leaving them out there to go back to rob, to go back to steal, because you will not take them. So why should a private sector take them? So what happens to those people that they can't get a job? Because the private sector saying, me, I ain't taking you. How can government go and tell them to take them? It has changed because I have written and I have said it and I have stated, because, you know, it hurts you when people is there. Some of these people generally made a mistake. You know, they were young and some of them is older, but people still make desperate decisions that they're sorry about. And I mean, what do the people do? Who do they turn to? And then when they go to jail, they hear, oh, that's a jail, but that time the government leave them out there.
And they spend the rest of their life trying to fit back into society.
Yes. And we people are so cruel. You know, just like even when I see people dead and I see some of the comments, I'd be like, oh my God, don't they realize that someone for that person is reading these comments? Huh?
Which goes back to why this episode is the way it is today. You're just a number. It's become, we have lost all sort of emotion. We have lost that. And as a earlier commenter says, that even animals mourn longer than human beings now.
Yes.
Don't insult
No.
animals, because even them mourn longer than,
No.
yeah. But can I
No
ask you to leave me
compassion.
there? No, it is. We're coming to almost the end of our show. I'm wishing I could go a little bit longer. But just leave me there, and I
Have a good
appreciate for
evening.
your contribution. Definitely.
Yeah. Talk soon.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Sure. Plain and Straight says, actually, the identification of the complaint is a problem with every government department that my neighbors and I have ever made a complaint to about are truly awful neighbors. Okay, so obviously I'm hoping that the powers that be are listening to this, but I've gotten the information from the other caller, and I will be sending that on to the Honorable Minister Ralston, because they said this one is allegedly from in his constituency, and I'm hoping that they will actually get an act on that. Michelle, be quick for me, please. Got 10 minutes left.
I want to say this to Miss Rose. I don't know who she is. I think I know her, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I know Miss Rose, but Miss Rose, don't feel no way. Me and you, I feel your pain, I see it, but me and you in the same boat. We must be now born under the right stars. And what I'm saying, everybody, when anything, what they got to do, it not only for me, because not only me live up in here, not only me using the stuff. And when you speak to anybody about anything else, they say, well, who's your MLA? Then when you say, well, they're not going to do nothing, whatever, but then like I tell them, I say, yeah, exactly, because they got their pet peeves, they got their favorites, and who their favorites is locked in, and who their favorite now is locked out, and they do not listen. And like I say, about business, that's beyond the point. Even to pick up the phone and say, well, dog, you're living, you're dead, whatever. They could text that in the night when they're in the bed before they shut the eye, because I learned that much. I can read text now and think I'm learning Samsung phone, the same. First I had a banger, but I'm learning stuff. But they do not care. Simple and impossible. Once they don't need you anymore, we don't put them where they needed us to put them. And to hell with you, they don't care. They don't care, and I don't care if they like it, they hear it or not. And what God bless a person's soul, and but they're dead now, and they were gonna do something for me that my people that you represent should been doing for your district. And but they never get to do it. And when they ask me, God bless their soul, I won't tell a lie. When they ask me who am I representative from him, and I tell them, well, they ain't gonna do jack shit for you. And I agree with them. And they need, although they bury up in graveyard, but they need 2 million kabooms for me and them. They're not hearing it, but I'm putting it out to people. They don't care. Once we get them, they don't use us. We were their star one, and we put them where they need to be, and they don't give a hell about you. So when it come around again, but I hope they're hearing what I say. And if I'm the longest liver, I mean that.
There we go, caller. Again, Miss Rose, I want to make sure that I'm not missing any of these messages here. Miss Rose says, when I go now to the ministerial office, the staff is saying NAU. They can't get any information to assist and get any information given to them. I don't think that's right. The person can have all the help. I am so okay. Ms. Rose, let me explain what I understood. There's a new system at Department of Financial Assistant, or I think DAF, which is the same NAU, and they have now gone computerized. They send you a key because of protection of your information. We understand that the amount of information they are requesting of you now can contain very sensitive information. That includes your bank account details and even bank statements. And because of that and freedom of information, for the possibility of your information being stolen or used, we understand how compromised people can go online now and do all sorts of stuff. That is why there's a key, an electronic digital key that is sent to you. So even if you go to a constituency's office to get assistance with doing this online portal system, Uh, on the government side of things, they have to ensure that they are actually dealing with you, because there's no way of them telling who's uploading the information, who's actually doing it. Bearing in mind, yours could be a legit case and you have authorized that COAA, that office assistant, to do it on your behalf. So that comes to another thing. It expedites their way of processing your application, because if it's all scanned and uploaded into this digital platform that makes processing seamless, they can see whether or not all the information that they need to due diligence that they need is there. The checkbox is much easier and it's already done, hoping to give you a quicker answer. The hardship is that a lot of the persons who are using that platform are not those who are able to, may not have access to internet, may not have access to a scanner, may not even know how to upload. They do not sometimes have an email address. They do not even know how to even download online statements from their bank and all that sort of stuff, if they have bank account details. So, it's one thing of going to the MP's office, but my suggestion to you, Ms. Rose, and any other person, I know you reached out to another contributor to the show who was willing to assist you navigate that process, and I'm hoping all works out well there. But for anybody else who's navigating that platform, your best, if you're having challenges, gather all of your paperwork, as hard as this may seem, and to ensure that if you don't have somebody at home, or you don't have the scanner, or you are not able to upload all of this stuff, this is hard for people to process, especially if you're not technically savvy enough to even use a scanner, a printer, upload and do all of this stuff. You're already going through all of that hardship. But there are provisions in that department, I get to understand, that they are there to assist those persons who may not have access to all of these services, either in their home or, again, with the safety protocols that they have in place, has made it a little bit more challenging for some of you. So at the end of the day, some people complain that going down at the NAU department, DAF as it's called, or DFE, that the space is not conducive. There's no privacy. There's a security guard there. I think they said at one point in time, I stand to be corrected, there was a police officer there. It's as though you're begging. There's no dignity. There's no grace. And that they were trying to actually improve on the space to give you more privacy. So when you're accessing those services, that your whole business is not aired to everybody that's sitting behind you. So I can understand the comforts of doing it from an MP's office. And we are so, I'm so proud to say this much, that my office assistants were able, and very successful during my time, were able to assist, provide those resources as well. And everybody that came there, especially since this new platform was actually established, they are now, and I'm hearing, even though I'm not in office, that they're now successful. But that wasn't easy, because we never kept any information of those persons. Once it was digitally scanned and sent to that department, those persons visiting that constituency office left with their information. So I know it can be a little daunting. It can be a bit, very much frustrating, and especially if you're not hearing any information back, you're not getting any feedback. And worse yet, to hear that you know you have provided the information, and they're telling you they need it again. So I can understand your frustration, Ms. Rose, and I'm really hoping that you will get yourself sorted out sooner than later. Ms. Shelma, thanks for that. We will meet we will meet someday. Thanks, Sabrina. Yeah, so I'm just hoping, this has been a long-standing complaint with that department, and I'm hoping, even though we're going into this digital footprint, that persons will appreciate what they're trying to do to protect your information from one standpoint, but I have to look at it from the other standpoint of the end user, the customer standpoint, and just being a facilitator and us helping in the constituency level and that office, to which it can be a lot of work. And that is because the innocent now is suffering for the guilty. You had persons who were tapping into government services. It is alleged that some were getting it for political favors, and then the legitimate ones who really need the assistance were then put through the ringer, literally put through the ringer, with having to pretty much, the only thing they didn't ask for was your blood type. And, that in itself is a bit frustrating. But I'm hoping that you will find a resolve. I'm hoping that the website will be a little bit more friendlier. And I'm hoping that persons who are accessing those services will feel that they are dealt with more with dignity and the professionalism that is needed. The importance of getting back to people in a timely manner will actually iron itself out. And likewise, for those who are going to our police services, understanding, especially in the substations, that we're hearing the frustration of even the police officers. Yeah, I said it. I called out and I spoke up for my fire officers. A lot of the police officers, too, are stretched to the max. They're stretched to the max. They're being reassigned. Well, we know Central Police Station, we don't even have that. That's a shoebox. And I'm hoping in very short order that they will have proper facilities for our police officers. Maybe some of their attitudes will change, because I do admit some of them, really how they approach you, how they deal with you could be improved. Because even in the execution of their duties, a little bit of manners and respect is due on both sides. And especially in heated situations, how you present yourself, the feedback, the energy can result in sometimes not very good. We don't want a reflection of what we're seeing in our region actually here. And if it's a culture, I ask you, please, when you go to Rome, you do as the Romans do. Try and see how our Caymanians actually interact with each other. But some of the attitudes can stay where you're coming from. Some of the unscrupulous practices that you're accustomed to from where you're originating, we don't entertain them here. And whether it's more manpower that is needed in the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service with specialty skills in order to help us navigate this new environment that we now have, now is the perfect time, Commissioner. Now is the perfect time. Plead your case. They're in the middle of budget. They're in the middle of budget. Plead your case. Plead your case. It's one thing of having our Cayman Islands Police Service, Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, or police force, whatever you want to call it, being given to our Caymanians first. But let's not set our Caymanians up for failure either. Because the current climate in our society right now is one that we need to be careful of. And we need to make sure that our officers are trained. We're looking at the escalation of crime. We're seeing the increase of bladed offenses. We're seeing the increase in weapons, types of weapons. We're seeing the delay processing of even cases. And if there's anybody to advocate for you guys, I don't know, straight up, Sabrina was always an advocate for them. But you got to call it. You got to call it as it is. Some of you really need an attitude adjustment. And some of you can get a lot more out of the community if you would just have an attitude check. Because you have lots of people in our society that is willing to walk with you, that is willing to advocate with you for peace in our neighborhoods, for peace on our roads. But it leaves a bad taste in your mouth when there's this wall, but yet you want them to give information. I don't want to call Miss Romelia name. Her approach may be untraditional, but you can't deny the woman that got her hand on the pulse. You may not like her. Do not miss the forest for the trees, because people like her
are the ones you need should a neighborhood be in turmoil, because you can't say she don't know what you don't know. This is what you call empowering your community. And even if it's for a period of time that you may have to bring in special skills, upskill our locals so we're not setting them up for failure. Get them frustrated. It would be interesting how much persons of the last recruit of Caymanians that I was so proud of, how much of them are still there today? You can't tell Sabrina about uniform services. I've been there. Actually, I enjoyed it. But you got to be hungry. You got to create the environment that makes it possible for them to get the necessary skill sets, send them away on the different courses. And as we're seeing our younger generation being accepted into the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, you can't put them into the arms division just because they like guns. But you can put them on the right trajectory by sending them on different courses. And in the meantime, you have persons with the required skill set placed in certain positions so that you can continue to keep the community safe, solving of crimes. But the thing is, they say once they come, they don't leave. Whose fault is that? If we're not implementing succession planning, if we're not making sure that enough funding is given to educate them, if we're not empowering them because it's okay to import persons to keep our community safe, that their culture does not even resonate with or identified by our own jurisdiction. The question is, can we even identify ourselves? And then you have those vocal persons, be it political vocalists or members of civil society, who stand up, who speak out, and they become with the Target logo on their back because they're a nuisance to society. We got it wrong. Stop using the term, it takes a village, if you don't know the true meaning of a village. Because right now, we're more taking on an identity of the haves, the have-nots, the which color you serve, the which party you're aligned with. It God be with all of y'all who took the money that were given out during the election. Because not one of them MPs owe you one thing. They don't owe you a thing once you took the money. They don't have to darken their foot at your doorsteps because you took the money. All I can say, woe be unto you. Miss Rose, Sabrina, all my file information, 21, Benji, who are you? I've been giving you delayed kaboom. Yeah, there we go, Benji. I am trying. The division is real, Jim. Yep. I'm only here to speak the truth. In Shaka Zulu, I hope I was able to answer you, my love. I have grown to respect you. I have grown to honestly, virtually miss you when I don't even see you, Shaka Zulu. But if there's one thing Sabrina Teresa Turner can tell you, I gave my all when it came to that role. But until you understand the true inner workings of the civil servants, until the people stop selling their vote, until you stop falling for the loudest bullying tactics, until the voters stop falling for the charismatic nature on a political stage, until the voter stops falling for all the theatrics on the floor of Parliament. Educate, be hungry for information, and ask the right questions, and don't forget to, or don't be fearful of speaking out or speaking up. We will continue to go down a road that it's not becoming of who we are. And if you think it's only going to be the likes of the callers like Michelle, who you say, oh, her big mouth this, her big mouth that. Oh, Sabrina, she's a one-time hit wonder. Big mouth, she not had no say. Oh, yeah? Think again. Your appreciation is normally after you're gone. By then, many who wake up, it's too late. Yes, Jim, division for sure is real. And I will continue to use this platform. And there will be times where the sobering truth will come out. And it's not coming from a place of pain. I'm asking the questions I'm going to answer. Don't blame me if you can't handle the truth. At this stage of my life, I realized what I'm up against. But I'm going to use this platform to educate, and the Lord will provide. Because when you speak from a place of truth, when you speak from a place of knowing and not what somebody else tells you, when you can speak from a position where you can see it coming, it's up for the rest of you. But I want you all to reflect on what happened. Remember now, April not too far away. That would automatically be 1 year. It only 4. Will you repeat the cycle? And for those of you who thinks that I'm a sore loser, you got it wrong, because I didn't lose. The system failed me. Nope, I didn't. But let's just put the focus back on accountability. Honest, true representation. You hear the pain in so many of the calls that we receive here. You see the comments for yourself. These aren't planted questions. These are persons who are hurting. These are people who are muzzled, who are scared to speak. And then you wonder sometimes why the young people say, who cares? I've already reached the end of my road. What more can they do to me? I can't get a job. I'm doing everything I can do. I'm blackballed because I had a conviction. Oh, I don't have the right last name. What else do I have to lose? What hurt me this weekend was I was speaking to a young lady. And the hurt that was in her voice, exactly what Michelle says. She's tired. You're only valued during an election campaign. And the hurt and the pain that was shared by that young lady, it is as though the system is being set up for persons to break the law, because that's the only how it seems you're going to survive. You do everything in your power. Now, this is not advocating for you to go and break the law. Please don't misread this. But I wonder how much young men and women are actually at that point when they're saying, I'm trying, but no one's willing to give me a chance. The society is so unforgiving of my past. What am I supposed to do? I have a little youth that I need to feed. Maybe the baby mother don't even want nothing to do with me because I can't get a job, because I just don't look the part, because I got a little weed conviction.
because I may have theft or stolen something or have a theft conviction, but I'm trying. I realize my mistakes and I am trying. I may have an attitude issue, but I'm angry. So what you're reading of me that I have an attitude issue is because of doors continuously shutting in my face. I've had those persons come to the constituency office. They've tried. They've tried. But you see, this society, if we don't be careful and band together as a community, we're going to continue to see our young people falling at the wayside. And this is why I'm opening this space for them. This is why I'm making a public appeal for persons, especially our human resources persons, to give them a chance. Really give them a chance. We can't continue to go down this road, or there will be no future. We can't. Damien, I hope I'm not missing anything. The real Michelle. Whoa, amazing and strong. I don't know you, but I've watched every show, and your presence today and authenticity shining bright. Thank you for your best show yet. Oh my, keep speaking the truth. That's all you'll ever get from me. That's all you will ever get from me. Damien, the eyes are useless if the mind is blind. Speak up. Some people are scared to speak, and rather others are doing it. Weaponized incompetence. The one who pays the piper chooses the song. The one who pays the piper chooses the song. Miss Rose. Hi, Sabrina. Where is Sandra going again? Back on vacation. Are you taking her people while she's gone? No. I'm just making sure I do my job. Miss Sandra is on a well-deserved vacation, and I am doing my job. Sad thing is that exactly where we are in this community, Benji, amen. But as I come to a 16-minute overtime close of this episode that started off on a sharing of grief, a loss of a dear friend, a loss of a hero. This is us. This is us. He is one of us. The sadness of the road fatalities, the shock of losing a dear friend, and the constant feeling of the world is spinning literally off its axis. It's a lot to hold. It's a lot to process. We've talked about feelings, hopelessness, and about the pain. Total confusion. We're losing our way. And in these moments, it's easy to look for someone to blame. It's very easy to point the finger or to simply just give up. I'm here today to tell you that's not an option. We're not giving up.
We have to learn what it's like to really live together in a community again, where your net worth doesn't mean crap, where your political alliance means jack, where everybody matters. But that is not what we're doing. This is a time for our leaders to step up and to remember what truly matters. It's easy for policy to become disconnected from the very same people that have given you a chance, who took a chance on you. Maybe some are living with regret today. It's okay. When you sit in a meeting room looking at those spreadsheets and budgets, it's easy to forget that every decision, every law, every policy has a direct and profound impact on someone's life. A life that really matters. And everyone's life matters. Not just the ones with power, not just the ones with money, not just the ones that help you maintain your constituency offices. Every single person, from the CEO to the laborer, from the long-term resident to the newest arrival to our shore that is invited here because the skill sets just wasn't available. This is my call to action for our government leaders. Let your decisions be built on a foundation of dignity, and for God's sake, have some respect. Respect for the most vulnerable amongst us. Dignity for the families who are grieving tonight. And there are so many. True leadership isn't about making the most popular choice. True leadership is about making the right ones. True leadership is one that listens to every voice, even the quietest. The one that protects the safety and well-being of all, and not just a select few. And to the people who are hurting on these islands right now, are not just a statistic on a spreadsheet. They are a community. And they are watching. They are hurting. They are crying out. And they expect you to deliver. And not from a place of being prejudiced. And remember this. No one is indispensable. Life is a season, and power is a cycle. A leader's legacy is just not measured by the number of projects they start, but by the lives they touch, the pain they ease, and the hope they inspire. The power you hold is temporary, and the greatest honor is to use it to serve truly. Serve and truly serve the people who have entrusted you with it. Before I close, Benji, but it's stronger to stand up and fight for the better of all. I'm sitting in tears. What's happening to our home? And that's why, Shaq, I had to do this. I had to do this show today because I know a lot of you are hurting. But this is our country. And it's going to take all of us to stand firm. May I ask with the fire officers? Oh, that's little Joe. James. Little Joe. His name is Joe. Speak the truth, Sabrina, Miss Bonnie. But God is God. United we stand. Jim, a human life is not replaceable. Yep. Bonnie Chambers says it's not happening. It's just about borders. John, we need to reassess, reevaluate, and reconsider what we have gained and what we continue to lose. We have to get back to being community instead of growing into an unbridled society where the family unit is systematically undermined by and for the calls for progress. It's time. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. Let's not let these strategies be in vain, these losses be in vain. Let them be a wake-up call and a reminder that we are all in this together, and just don't use that as a tongue-in-cheek line. And our compassion for one another is our greatest strength. Let's move forward, not with anger, but with purpose. And a purpose to build a kinder, safer, more inclusive Cayman for everyone. Mr. Yates, I've left my homeland, Grand Cayman, in 2016, and I'm reluctant to return because of some of the very things you said. But we got to fight, Joseph. We can't just let it go because we're infiltrated by persons who are not ours, or because we just lay down and just let it happen. We got to fight. Where there's life, there's hope, Joseph. If we all have that mindset, I'm sorry that you've reached there. What will become of my grandchildren? Those that are still in utero, who has nowhere else to go? Well, thanks, Miss Sabrina. You are doing a great job. Let them know who you stand strong. Yes, who I am. We need to learn over again how to be our brothers' keepers and be united together. We are living in the last days. We need to stop being selfish and care for others. Caymanians, wake up and get your own souls right with God and seek the lost and share your blessings with each other. Life has become overwhelming. So much lately. People's souls are vulnerable and people are suffering in so many ways. Our young people are struggling and need a helping hand, a listening ear, a hug, and a shoulder to lean on daily. It has been a pleasure bringing you another episode of Sabrina Speaks. Until tomorrow, have a safe rest of the evening. God bless. Love you lots. Where there's life, there's hope.
That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, Cayman, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.